Hello, welcome back to Ireland AM. Our next guest has been the go-to hair guru for the likes of Kate Moss, Naomi Campbell and Claudia Schiffer. Just dropping a few names there, guys.
Not too shabby.
Someday, Karen Coster, someday.
We would love him to do our dresses, I swear to God. It's Celebrity Stars Michael Douglas. Great to see you.
Hello.
So nice to be here again. Thanks for the invite.
Because you did an all-nighter in Ibiza, flew to Ireland.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like when we say celebrity hairstylist, we mean it, don't we?
You are walking the walk,
I've
for
been
sure.
raving. I've not even taken the beads off. Still going.
This was an unbelievable wedding by all accounts from what we could see on Instagram.
Oh, the Fat Tony's wedding.
Yes.
Oh, it was a belter, that. Yeah, it was like... I mean, people were saying, why did you wear that outfit? It was like, it was a gay celebrity wedding. What did you want me to wear, you know?
You looked incredible. There was this amazing red coat. So you're busy, you're doing all these kind of stuff. Of course, there was on the Instagram post, going to a wedding, not ours, is what Davina and yourself had written underneath that.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone is mad about your Mrs. Davina McCalls.
So am I.
And how is she after everything that happened with the brain?
Yeah. I mean, the brain surgery was, like the 15th of November.
Yeah.
So I thought, by Christmas we'd be out of the woods and all that, but we weren't actually. It took a long time. I would say, in the end, I remember saying, OK, let's give it till April and we'll see where we are. And if we're not back in April, then I'm going to start worrying. And just towards the end of April, everything just like dropped back into place. I was like, oh, wow, And she looked at me one day and she said, I'm back, like I'm totally back. And I was like, and so am I.
Amazing.
Let's go.
Because it is unbelievable how much... Well, it's not really given all Davina's work that she did in terms of talking about the menopause and really bringing that into the mainstream. So I think women were just so shocked, and viewers and fans. But when this news broke, we were like, not our Davina. I mean, there was such... Just communal, not Davina.
There is a sense a lot of people feel like they kind of own her a bit, because they're always saying to me, you better look after her, like she's not mine, she's theirs, So yeah, it was a tricky time, and we'd both been for a health screening. I came out completely clear, and I abused my body quite badly, And she was like, "Oh my God, I got a brain tumour." We were like, "What?" So yeah, it was a big shock.
It's so interesting because as a couple now, you're very much front and centre together, your whole story. And it was, Michael will be taking it because she's so active in keeping all of us informed. Which is an amazing way to be and be so open like
honest,
that. So then you're front and centre, kind of giving people updates. What's that like? You're talking about the woman that you love, but you also are like, well, now I have this responsibility to all these people.
Yeah. So it was quite an interesting process, actually. It was very helpful because it was like a big therapy session for me. You got to kind of dump all these feelings onto a WhatsApp group, and then, I'd leave it for 2 or 3 hours, and then you get lots of love in return, from lots of people giving lots of support. But you didn't have to interact in a personal way, so you could give and then let go and then receive some love and then leave it 24 hours and do the same thing again. The interesting thing for me was really not getting addicted to that process, actually, because you found yourself it was such a rewarding thing that I found myself getting slightly hooked on it. And I thought, OK, this is getting a bit unhealthy for me, so it's time to stop doing it.
Okay.
So after about 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, OK, she's out of hospital. We're now going to go and recover. See you all later. And that was it. And then we did one last update once we'd fully recovered.
Yeah. But she's amazing, the fact that, she's not just thinking about her own recovery. She's really now an advocate for other people with benign brain tumours. And I love that she says benign doesn't mean fine.
Yeah.
She's kind of still carrying that on, for people in different situations.
She'd had the tumour her whole life, apparently, but it had grown and it was filling the entire space. And if it grew any more, which they didn't know whether it would or wouldn't, then she could have had quite a severe stroke or something like that. So it was a case of saying, let's get it out before you have to get it out in an emergency situation,
And how does it feel for you? Because, you've gone on to Gogglebox for us. Thank you very much. Love that. Watching people sit down and watching it. Was that fun?
Yeah, it's really good fun. It's a funny process, the way they do that. But because if you see something you like and you laugh at it, they have to get it without any interrupting audio, so they have to reenact a little bit of it and go, do you see that? It's like... So anyway, it's a funny process.
Funny process.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. And then one thing that you did do is you gave Davina a fringe once. Was it a fringe? What did you do to Davina's hair? You put in a fake thing in her hair.
I mean, we gave her a fringe a while ago. I can't remember. I've done so many mad things to her hair.
You did it. It was on The Masked Singer, and I just remember
a wig.
Sorry, you put the wig on with the short fringe,
and then we pull it off.
Wow!
Yeah.
And I just remember that I was out with my girlfriends. They were like, "Did you see what he did to Davina's hair?" I was like, "What is going on?" That world now, when you decide to do something, because you've got so many clients like that.
Yeah.
What's that reaction like these days? Because before you would have been in magazines, and now you're on Instagram, people are interacting, you going, what did you do to their hair?
Yeah, so this is that thing about ownership. You know, the celebrity feels like they're owned by their fans, so they tell me off. How dare you do that to her hair? What were you thinking? You know, it's like, it's a wig, relax, you know.
Yeah.
And then they feel a bit embarrassed, you know. But I love that. I mean, we've done 6 seasons of The Masked Singer. That's 10 hairstyles a season, 60 hairstyles, you know. So I've got to, like... I'm constantly thinking of different things. So there's a brilliant wig shop in London called Amber Jean Wigs, and I borrow wigs from her. And I just
she's an Irish girl, isn't she?
She's an Irish girl,
yeah. I
and
remember her from her modelling days here,
Yeah. So I borrow wigs from her, and then we have a real good play around with them, and that relieves me of like 4 or 5 hairstyles. I can now just like do 4 or 5 ones with her hair.
Because your hair can't take the brunt. We were just saying, like, when you're doing tally 4 days a week, as Muireann does consistently, when you've got colour, you've got hair tools. Yeah. Are women getting better at kind of protecting their hair? Because I love the way you say, like, if it's really bad, the only friend is the pair of scissors.
The pair of scissors, yes. That's the biggest repair product you can get. Yes, so, I mean, I work with 2 or 3 brands, but one of them is OGX, who I'm over here with at the moment, which is a big shampoo brand. And its big focus is on prevention, really. Because your hair isn't a living thing. It's dead once it's left your head. A lot of people think it's like skin. But skin is constantly regenerating. It's in touch with your biology. Your hair is like gone. So when you damage it, it's damaged forever. Scissors, regrow. So I'm a big fan of the OGX products. There's this new Rescue Fusions range that's come out, and it's designed really to protect the hair as well as nourish and restore it. So that's the big thing, really. If you, especially coming into the summer, protect, you know, and repair, you know. OK,
because that's it. If you're going on holidays, if you're in chlorine, if you're doing all that kind of stuff. And also, so many people colour their hair. Like, I must have 57 million different chemicals in my head at any one second. Like, what can we do with that? Because you're always like, is my hair going to go yellow? Is this going to happen? Yeah. And it's everyone. It's men and women. It's everyone. It's across
so,
any...
When your hair lightens, it essentially gets slightly decomposed. So if you were to take a piece of brown hair... my real hair. And you were to colour it blonde like you have done, but if you weighed it before and weighed it after, it'd be about 2/3 lighter afterwards. So it essentially rots the hair, which makes it turn orange and then yellow and then pale yellow and so on and so forth. So the hair gets weaker as a result of going blonder. The sun does that, high lift tint does that, bleach does that. So what you're trying to do is use products to pack in all the holes that are now missing because of that decomposition. So products like hyaluronic acid and stuff like that are in some of the products are really good at strengthening the hair. And they also form a kind of protective barrier over the hair so the sun can't get through in quite such an easy way. But if you've coloured your hair, the sun is going to hit it harder than if you haven't coloured your hair, you know.
I love as well hats, there you go. If you do fancy a change, you say, actually, AI has a role in how, you know, how you might look in the aftershot.
Yeah, my feeling is we've got a little AI platform on mdlondon.com, my website, where you can talk to me in real time, anytime, and it's only trained on my knowledge. So it's my voice and everything. You say, hi, Michael, I've got a problem with my hair, and I will answer that problem.
That's amazing.
So that's good in that sense. But hair... The idea of hair and AI is the perfect marriage in a way. You can say, what would I look like with brown hair with a fringe, short bob? You can have a look. And it's not like you with a wig on or you with a hat on. It's so accurately you.
Wow. Look at this stunner.
Look at this stunner.
What about this guy?
Sorry, is that Liam Gallagher I'm looking at?
He wants to be Liam Gallagher.
Don't we all?
He's a former Irish international rugby player and now host of Ireland AM, Tommy Bowe. That's a beautiful
does that fringe do anything for Tommy, do you think, Michael?
That fringe doesn't do anything for Tommy, no. Don't do that. But that's the beauty about the AI. You can see what to do and what not to do, you know. Okay. But it's a really good match. So I think AI is really going to help people like us all to decide, am I going to like this or not?
So when he goes to Oasis, stick to the bucket hat and not the fringe.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I'll see him there.
He knows that now. He's ready to go. So you are going to stick around because after the break, Michael is going to put his top tips to the test. You're going to be telling us what we should do for summer.
Absolutely. Stay with us. You won't want to miss the hairstyle tips after the break.